All right. What's up? Y'all doing all right? How's it going? Whoa, the people are jumping on quick. Cool. Hey, there's a wave. Cristobal. Lynn Walker in the house. I'm sorry. Lynn Walker in the house. Y'all doing all right? Okay. Getting some waves. Wait one more minute or so we can all join the party. Populate the landscape. Renee Machado from Rio. Cool. All right. Man, I should get one of those tripod deals, huh? You know, instead of just holding this the whole time. Doing it guerrilla style. I just snorted. Big Bad Bob joined the party. Okay. Anti-view. Bird's eye view. I'm just screwing around. Okay, one more minute, and we'll get this going. Hopefully y'all are doing all right. Wednesday. Hey, Big Bad Bob getting a little pushy with the let's go. Just one more minute. 30 seconds, okay? Just hang tight. Someone from Bandera, Texas. The Bad Farmhouse. All right. Can't be too far from H-Town. Where is Bandera? I should know that. Cool. They're coming. Great. Sure enough, every week on here, you had someone jumping in wanting to join the video. And I don't know if this is an accidental thing or you just, gravitate towards my chiseled features and rugged good looks. I'm not really quite sure. It must be the badass hairstyle. Okay, I think I've waited about 180 seconds. I think we can sort of jump in. This might go quick today. Who knows? I always tend to think they're going to go quick and they go long. Anyway, I'm going to do what I've been doing because it seems to be working okay, which is I am going to, yeah, there you go. Oh, everyone likes to see the pants. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Take care of a little quick housekeeping. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. Got some news. And then I'm going to talk about a bigger idea today. And then take some questions. I think that sounds good. Y'all cool with that? Come on, painting from Cristobal Lanzarini. All right. Yeah, you're excited. All right, cool. Really quickly, people. Something really exciting is going to happen tomorrow. I've been invited to jump on the Instagram Live for Saatchi Gallery from London. 10 a.m. United States Central Time, and I think it's 4 p.m. London time. Anyway, cross-reference from 10 a.m. United States Central Time. So Saatchi reached out from London, and I'm going to be on their Instagram Live tomorrow. Their Instagram Live handle is at Saatchi_gallery, and you can look it up. Saatchi Gallery, it's SAATCHI. So at SAATCHI_gallery, GALLERY. Anyway, that should be cool. I mean, they've got 6 million social media followers and almost 2 million on their Instagram alone. So that should be really exciting. I'm still sort of wrapping my brain around that. I imagine the exposure is going to be pretty massive. So I'd appreciate it if y'all jump on if you can, no matter where you are. Jump on, ask me some good questions, okay? I'm going to be we've been talking back and forth about what I'm actually going to do on there, and I'm going to kind of just sort of show people the studio a little bit more, or some stuff I got, a little more of my process in the studio, and how things are come together. I might have, from start to finish sort of ideas. I don't know. We're working it out, but hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. Should be a big crowd. I'm excited. London calling. Okay. I also wanted to mention, if you go to the press page of my press site, it's howardsherman.com. You click on the press page. I've got a new press kit that's available. There's a button at the bottom of the page. Click on the button. There's also a link at the top of the page. Click on the button. You can get this new press kit, which is a small little PDF file for you to share with your friends and family, and more importantly, art collectors who might be interested. There's lots of hyperlinks in there for details about different work. Anyhow, I'm going to walk over here for a second. A couple more things really quickly. Last week's Instagram Live is now also on my orange on orange. That's wild. Okay, so Instagram. Last week's Instagram Live is up on the website too, on the press page, howardsherman.com/press. If you want to watch those clips, they're on the press page of my website. And finally, I wanted to talk to you a minute about, I tweaked the shopping cart page of my website. If you go to howardsherman.com and click on shop, move some things around, added one or two works on paper that weren't there before. So please go check those out and buy them. That'd be great. Tell your friends to buy them. That'd be even better. The more, the merrier. Okay, so here we go. I wanted to talk to you today about, and I will be referring to my notes a little bit. I wrote them out and wrote them out again. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It shouldn't take that long, but I wanted to talk to you about subject matter versus content. I want to talk to you again. I'll say subject matter versus content. This is applicable to you, not just me, but I'm going to use my own work to elaborate on it and show as examples, okay? Hopefully this will make sense. If you have some questions, save them until we're done and I'll take them in the questions. But again, I'm hoping this helps y'all out because it's two intertwined ideas, but you can actually talk about them separately too, okay? So here we go. I put up a few things for us to talk about regarding this subject. Are you ready? Let me hear a ready. Let me see a ready. Don't look at the work behind me. It's not finished, okay? I'm a little self-conscious about unfinished work being seen. I just can't, okay, I don't want y'all to see that. Okay, ready? We're going to turn it around. Thumbs up from Casey Matthews Artist. Thank you. Sipped Heron. All right, cool. Okay, so what I have here is a couple of my small works on paper. Hopefully the glare is not too bad. These are frame pieces that I had up, and I've got a couple more to show y'all. So regarding subject matter versus content. Okay, so what you're seeing here, let's start with this one. What you're seeing here might simply initially look like a portrait to you, right? Do you see that? Maybe you see a sort of a head shape. Maybe you see a couple of eyes. Maybe you see a mouth. I think it's pretty evident. I'm going to move in really quickly. I mean, it's sort of my own take on it. And this one I've actually cut back into it right there, right? Anyway, so what you see here is a portrait. Pretty simple. This is the subject matter to you might initially come across as a face. I'd like you to quickly get over that. I want you to dive deeper, and I want you to look into the content. And what I mean by that is, and let's scroll up to this one now too. And I'm going to show you one. I just realized I'm going to show you one that's not behind glass, so the glare doesn't interfere too much, but I think you can get the idea. Anyway, what I'd love you to do is quickly get over that subject matter. Quickly get over the fact that you might be seeing a portrait in a face, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about the content of the painting, or the piece, the drawing, the work on paper in this case. What I mean by that is, I want you to see my relationship to the paint, the surface, the material, the scale, my emotions. How did I make it? Is it made in a really aggressive physical way? Is it made in a really cautious, careful, pristine way? There you are. Okay. I'm going to show you a couple more really quick. I think there'll be less glare on them, and we'll keep talking about the same thing, right? A little bit better. So, essentially what I'm trying to do here is I want you to think about what else am I doing behind the face? I mean, the face is what might feel like a portrait or some sort of face. It's in front of your eyes, but I want you to think about what I'm doing behind the face. What am I doing behind it? Okay, these aren't just about what I'm depicting. They're not just about what I'm painting. They're also about how I'm painting them and my relationship to the materials. And like here, I'm going to show you something. Okay, I think I'm finished with this. I normally let this stuff sit for a little bit, but I'm feeling really good about this one, so I'm going to show this to you. The ones I just showed you were small. This is a larger piece, okay? I have not measured it. I'm guessing it's like 58 inches by 35 inches or something. And anyway, this one's not behind glass, but I mean, it's, aesthetically, it has a lot to do with those little small frame ones I just showed you, which were 12 inches by 9 inches. But what I'm trying to get across here is that this one, while it's depicting a similar subject matter, the content of it changes due to the scale of it, due to the overt physicality of it. And in this case, even the way I'm displaying it changes the content and the context. In this particular case, let's pretend that this is my studio, but let's pretend it's like a gallery setting, and I wanted you to feel a little bit like you feel with my assemblages, meaning get a sense of the physicality and the draping of the piece. That would change the whole content. That would change the content of the work, right? It's meant to employ that it's a little more physical, it's a little less pristine, it's not behind glass, it's not matted in a nice antiseptic frame. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But anyway, that's kind of the big idea. I know it's kind of short and sweet, but I think there's a lot to unpack there. And I'll show you the details of this one. There's a little bit more of the curl of the paper. I'm going to this one came together pretty quickly. I don't know. I mean, I think it's done. I want to show you one more, just for contrast's sake. We're going to go back to something we've looked at previously, but I've had it on the wall for a while, and I think it's good. It's a good example Okay, so once again here, scale up, okay? This thing's got to be close to 80 inches tall, guns on the table, cash in the drawer. How does my context change? How does the subject matter change? The subject matter is not that different. I think you still find a figurative reference that you can jump into at the initial viewing, but getting over it really, there's a different relationship here going on than in the small ones, but there's still this real emotional interest in, I'm losing the, okay, hopefully I won't lose y'all again. I lost you for a second. Again, I'm trying to point out that there's this different relationship to material and surface, and it's made in a really aggressive physical sort of way. And to me, that stuff's as important as to whether I'm depicting a portrait or not, whether I'm making a face or not. The way it's made is always taken into real serious sort of emotional consideration, is something that's very physical. And then the scale of things actually changes how I want you to look at it. I'm not getting the best, I'm not getting the greatest connection here. Anyway, I know that's sort of a short point today, but it's something I wanted to bring up. It's not always about what your subject matter is. It's also about content and also context too. If you look at a lot of work along in art history and what the time period it came along and what it was reacting against, that's equally as important as to whether it was a landscape, painting, or portrait, abstract, whatever. So I think these are important points to keep in mind. That's the big lesson for today. I hope those examples helped. And now I will take some questions. Or you can just stare at my badass hairstyle in sheer awe. Oh, the glare. Jesus. Oh, fuck. Let's walk over here. Questions? Anyone got some questions? There's usually a ton of questions. Anyone want to talk a little bit about subject versus content? Okay. It looks like they're coming in. Esra Nispagulari, what is the most time-consuming part in your art practice? Probably the thinking part, because it never stops. Big Bad Bob, is that big work on paper made with the brush or roller? Bob, that's a brush, mostly a brush. There's an off-registration mark that happened accidentally, and I really like it. And how did that was from a brayer, so that part was from a roller. But that was a collage element. I was apprehensive about showing that because I just finished it, but I just sort of said, fuck it. Okay. Where do you source your material from? Mostly art supply stores. I'm not that adventurous. I'm not dumpster diving, man. It's mostly art supplies. Art supplies from art supply store. I hope that helped. Anyone else? Okay. Did everyone understand what I was talking about regarding the difference between subject and content? Casey Matthews, what is the white paper you frequently use? I use a lot of different brands, and I don't even know the names of all the brands. I tend to find heavy paper that's acid free. I end up going with Strathmore a lot, and I use I use paper that's just sort of heavy. Sometimes I call it drawing paper. Sometimes I call it mixed media paper. I just look for heavier acid-free papers most of the time. Sometimes they're a little bit more beige or cream colored, which I'm cool with. Sometimes that depends on my mood. I seem to do, really well with this sort of tinted beigey color sometimes. I hope that helped. Okay, so Casey Matthews, artist. I don't use butcher paper a whole lot, but I think it's a good idea to keep some around just to screw around with. I've used it in the poor connection. Okay, Casey, hopefully you didn't lose me. I've used the butcher paper in the past. I think it's great to have it around just to mess around with it. But lately I've been using heavier paper for things I'm doing. Butcher paper, I don't know if it's acid free or not, and some people don't care about that, but butcher paper tends to be a little thin and, doesn't hold up to the abuse that I put forth on my materials. Not everyone's like that. You might be a delicate little flower who, holds her pinky up in the air while she's got her brush in hand, and I'm not judging. It's just everyone's different, Man, now the questions are coming in. I can't keep up. Okay. There's a time delay. Jeff.Oxley. The only thing I have to say is, there are figurative elements in my work, and there's a lot of figurative elements in a lot of people's work that you don't necessarily think there is. And the reason I think that happens most of the time is because people are initially, in most instances, educated early by starting their early art education starts with learning form, and you learn form in most cases. You learn form by drawing objects and figures early on, and then And I think that I never really thought about it, but now that you asked that question, I'm thinking about it and I'm answering it. And I think that's why even in things that are quote unquote described as abstract, they're rooted in formal principles based on fundamental drawing. And fundamental drawing usually starts with observational drawing, as I think it should. And observational drawing usually involves a figure. Did that help, Jeff Oxley? I hope it did. That name looks familiar. Elijah Lewis Thomas. I'll put this up on my stories if I think it's gone well, so you'll be able to see it for 24 hours. Since you missed the first part and you want to hear me talk about it again, I'll put it up on my stories because I think it's going pretty well. But I like to watch them again to make sure I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid before I post them permanently on. I'm in the dark, huh? This sucks. Before I post them permanently on my site. Okay? Did that help, Elijah Lewis Thomas? Sipiheron, I remember you. Okay, this is a little bit more, I'll answer this the best I can. And I love these sorts of questions about process because I'm not really good at explaining. First of all, I don't love talking to my phone like this, but on top of that, I don't love trying to explain step-by-step instructions on here. It'll make me crazy. Okay, I become blinded in my work. This is your question, Sipa Heron. I become blinded in my work, loving the content, and hard to step back and look at format or good composition. How do you get objective again? Okay, essentially what you're asking is you're too close to your work. It doesn't matter how you're too close to your work, but you've gotten a little too close to your work one way or another. So you want to know how to get how to get objective about looking at it again. I mean, one of the easiest things to do is to take a break and work on something else. I remember a professor in graduate school saying that one of the best things he would do is go get a cup of coffee and come back in 10 minutes. But I think there's a real tendency, especially, it still happens to me a little bit if I get a little obsessed, but I think that there's a real tendency when you're first starting out to just want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing on one particular thing, when the best thing you do is just take a break from it, maybe even flip it around, not look at it and work on something else. It's important to have several things going at any one time, and that will help you not lose, that'll help you keep your clarity with what you're working on. And I think that applies to whatever the issue is, whether it's theoretical or formal or spiritual or whatever. I hope that helped. I like that question. I had to kind of dig around for it a little bit. I've missed a couple things here. Let me see. I think that kind of covered a lot of it. Anything? There's a little bit of a delay, so. All right. That it? Is okay. That might be it, huh? Okay. Well, we'll keep it kind of short and sweet. I'll wait one more minute and see if there's that last minute surge with a couple of goodies, and then if there's not, we'll call it a day, and it'll be and that'll be that. I hope everyone's staying safe in these crazy times. I hope I was able to help regarding subject matter versus content today. I think that's what I tried to talk about very briefly, but I think effectively was applicable to all y'all. Hopefully it'll help you as you try and figure out what you're doing. I think that's about it. So I am going to sign off. I hope y'all can tune in tomorrow. That should be really cool. Saatchi Gallery taking over the live. Okay. See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.